I
Okay,
got something to say.
Yes, sir.
Uh, just to let everybody else know, like, don't be afraid to call people. I've been calling people this last 3 days, and today I just got my first scheduled appointment to talk to
Nice.
somebody. So
Congratulations.
it's exciting.
Yeah.
That is exciting. That's amazing. And that's
So
the
don't be
kind of
afraid.
momentum.
Yep.
Yeah, it's like ripping the Band-Aid. Don't be afraid to call. Thank you for saying that. That's amazing. So excited for you. Okay, so on that note, I'm gonna try to do this really well. Just full disclosure, there's a lot of you in the class, 20. I'm gonna start at the top and work my way down. If I miss someone, please speak up. Don't let me miss you. So let's start with Dave. Osby, is that?
It's Osby.
Osby, yeah.
Yeah. So
So the general format is every day when we meet in class, were you here for Monday and Tuesdays sessions or no?
I was with Stephen Malfa on Monday and Tuesday.
Okay.
So there were just a couple people that we spoke with.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Well, what I will say is like essentially every day in class, we're going to start with what we call accountability. But it's really just an informal, like, hey, talk to me about your lead generation yesterday or what you've done so far today. How many contacts is that between the times when we've seen each other? Any wins, any challenges?
Yeah. I would just say this being my first week, I've reached out to some friends, business connections, and told them what I'm starting to do and set up a couple lunches. And just kind of made phone calls to, let my initial contacts know that I'm starting in real estate. And so that's been pretty much it.
Awesome. Well, that's awesome. Do you know approximately how many folks you've talked to so far?
I would say probably over the last 7 days, probably 10 conversations.
Okay.
Yeah. Cool. With people I haven't spoken with in a little while.
With people you haven't spoken. Well, that's good.
Yeah.
At least you're reaching out to new, like fresh people and getting that ball rolling. I know for new agents, our goal is to have you talking with 10 new folks every day.
No.
Oh, somebody's got some cute puppies barking.
Oh, sorry.
Okay, is that Heather? Would you mute yourself though? Thank you.
Yeah, hold on.
Okay. Does anyone remember the conversation around the 10 fours or 4 10s? You can totally unmute yourself. If you remember it, let's go over it real quick.
I wrote down everything she said about it. It was there were 4 things you need to be doing daily. It's reaching out via phone call or text, and then 10 handwrittens, and then I wrote it down. Sorry.
No, you're totally good.
Preview 10 homes, but that one's weekly, not daily. So you do 10 handwritten notes, 10 database ads, 10 contacts. There it is.
Yes. So there's 3 daily 10s and then 1 weekly 10. We call it the 4 10s, but it is talking to 10 new people every single day, putting 10 new people in your database every single day, and then writing 10 handwritten notes every single day. To some, that sounds like 30 people, but actually, if you just think of it in terms of, your process, you're essentially going to, you can reach out to 10 people and speak with them, make sure and get their email address, like best contact information, how they'd like to be followed up with, let them know you're going to send them some business cards in the mail, put that information in your database, and then send those same 10 cards out to those same 10 people. And doing that 10 a day, like Monday through Friday or whatever you've scheduled yourself to work, if it's, Sunday through Thursday or whatever the days, but try to do it 5 days a week. Because incrementally that will get you to enough database entries that you can get them into a nurture type of relationship where they'll be communicated with often enough that you'll start to see those convert into actual pieces of business over time. which is what this is all about, is getting you set up and organized to build your business incrementally. I will tell you like that for agents who are our rookies of the year, really high producing, they really get it done. They are not letting 10 be their minimum. They're definitely pushing harder and really time blocking time to do the lead generation, because the gold is really in those initiated conversations and then in the follow-up. If anyone shows interest or raises their hand, being consistent in the follow-up and delivery of your professional, showing up as a professional, having consistent follow-up, and those things will get you the business long-term. Okay, good. Thank you so much, Gwendolyn, for your help on the 4 10s. I always want to say 10 4s, and it's totally not 10 things 4 times. It's 4 things 10 times. So if after 4 years I still get it confused, I will not I will not think poorly of you if you get it confused too. Okay. Thank you, Dave, for sharing. Let's do Leah next. Leah Lindley.
Well, since I'm too dizzy to leave the house still, I've just been reaching out by text to a couple leads that I do have. And I have a doctor's appointment tomorrow and I have physical therapy on Monday. So I'm kind of virtually looking at homes and in all different areas just to get the feel of like what's out there right now.
Mm-hmm.
But I can't walk straight. So
well,
just anything that I can do by computer or phone right now is really what I'm doing. I want to get my business cards ordered this week. Is there an appropriate amount to order to start out with?
Oh, for business cards?
Yeah.
I would just maybe like 500.
Okay.
Would be a good start, because you're going to basically call through your sphere of influence and offer to send them, business cards, maybe 5 or 10 business cards. So you'll find that you run out of them really quickly, like your first first go around. But also, wouldn't want you to order like 1,000 or 5,000, because if you don't really like them, like you design your first version, excuse me, and then you end up thinking like, oh, I kind of want a little bit different. I want to tweak this, change it, whatever,
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. So do you mind some coaching around your current situation with just being, you're doing the best you can, you're in the house?
Yeah. Like I said, I have some leads and I am talking to a few people, and it's just kind of like very basic, what are your thoughts? What are you looking for? What is your time frame?
Right.
And one is waiting for an in-law to pass on before they can get the house because they know they're not going to keep it. And so that's kind of a waiting game for them right now. And everything else in their life is a little stressful, and just kind of like they have to be able to drop everything what they're doing to deal with emergent things at the moment. So it's just kind of a check-in. How are you? How are things going?
Right.
Another one is kind of like, how serious are you looking? How not, is this just kind of an idea for you?
Yeah.
So it's just kind of also a keep in touch thing. But yeah, I
would say you're doing great. It's awesome that you already have some leads. You probably need more leads to get into true production. So my recommendation is like leverage your KW family members for support. That's what we're here for. That's definitely a huge piece of our culture. And a couple of tools that will help you is one, if you can manage it in your budget to get a Zoom account of your own. You can actually, you can run some Facebook ads, do some lead follow-up that's totally virtual, close for that appointment, but have it be a Zoom appointment so that you can stay home and stay put in your seat. And then if you do get a pre-approved buyer or a listing, you can totally utilize your family here at KW to help you with the things that you are not able to do. So if you need someone to go do a physical walkthrough of the house, just reach out to your coach, reach out, and make that connection. Someone will show up for you and do that and get you some video. Like on
Okay.
the other end, if you need someone to show the houses for you because you're not able to be walking around and doing that kind of thing, that's fine. You close for the appointment, get your contract signed, let them know that you have a showing assistant who will be letting them into the houses and that they still should communicate with you around the showings and things like that. And you're happy to schedule them. And then have someone else take them to the houses. Absolutely. But shouldn't hinder you getting into production. There's always a solution and a way around that, especially when it's just like a physical thing that you're just not able to do. If you're able to do the digital thing, we can get you assistance with the physical thing. Okay.
Okay. And I'm probably going to be looking away from the screen
Yeah.
because it makes me dizzy with the movement. So,
No, it's totally fine.
Okay.
Even if you just need to listen or whatever.
okay. I can still write. That's the one thing I can still do. And I did get the Ignite notebook last night. I had my husband run and get it for me. So,
Oh, good. Does
Yeah.
that paper version seem to be easier on the eyes, or is it just all the focusing is hard?
actually reading for me right now is better. I did do a meeting this morning at 8:20 with Mike, and since it was a short meeting, that went okay. And I've done some maneuvers already.
Yeah.
So as long as I'm sitting still, and like I said, I've been starting to read through the notebook.
Yeah.
So, and I can sit and read without getting sick.
Well, feel free to turn your video off now that we're done with accountability, and you can throw a towel over the screen or whatever and just follow along in your binder. I'm fine with that. So,
Okay.
more than appropriate. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Yep. Alex Daly.
Okay, there we go. So Alex Lurch and I work as a team here in Central Oregon. We're based out of the Bend office. Yesterday, we added maybe 20 people to our database, but those were people whose information I had and phone numbers that I had, people that I've worked with over the last 6 months. They weren't new contacts per se, and they were new in our database, but we're just filling it out.
Mhm.
And I guess we're feeling a little bit confused. We're new to the area. We moved here less than a year ago, and have done our best within the pandemic to get out and meet as many people as we can. But I think that when we did the 3 legs of prospecting with Mara
Yeah.
on the first day, we sort of set our 3 legs as working your sphere as one. As a second one, we did open houses.
Yep.
And then as a third one, we did, self-development. And then sort of, I don't know where this would go. Maybe it would go with the first one, but we're also working on some Facebook ads.
Yeah, we
So-
weren't sure if we were going to do either self-development or Facebook ads, but I feel like where we're at right now, if we just do open houses and Facebook ads, we're not really sure how that's going to allow us to meet 10 new or to have 10 new contacts a day. So should we maybe change one of our lead gens so that we're a little more aggressive about meeting people? We're not sure how to most efficiently meet 10 new people every day.
So you guys are new to the area, as in you do not have much of a sphere of influence. So when you
Right.
do your 3 legs of business, it's appropriate to keep one as a sphere, but your goals around sphere are going to be different than most people's. Most people already have a sphere. Their
Right.
goal is just getting it into the database and putting it on a nurture campaign. Since you guys are new to the area, you're going to engage in specific activities to build your sphere locally. So
Okay. And that's in addition to open houses and Facebook ads. We will have to do.
yeah, I would. And the
Okay.
Facebook ads are easy in command to kind of get that, get it on autopilot. You can run them from inside of command. Once you dial in, the settings on that, actually command has a partnership with Facebook that actually makes the return on that pretty easy and relatively low cost. like less than $1 a lead, sometimes as little as 30 or 40 cents a lead.
Okay.
And when I've run Facebook ads around my listings, I've gotten as few as 20 leads, but as many as 65 leads.
Oh, wow.
And so I don't think you'll have any, and that was just running it for like 6 days. So,
Oh, wow. Okay.
so that's,
And that-
the volume of contacts that you'll get from a Facebook lead is actually pretty high, but the conversion ratio is much lower because it's an internet lead. There's more nurturing and more time involved in getting those to convert to actual clients, but the value is still there in getting them into your database and continuing to nurture them over time.
Okay.
Okay.
So for your right now business, you want to have that, like the open house, that's really great right now business, because people normally are showing up to open houses when they're ready to buy a house.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And so
And,
that's
we-
really,
and we want to utilize like this sort of, door knocking on 10 houses in each direction, and, making a flyer and really taking ownership of the days that because there are a lot of agents that do open houses in our office. So I think that's a great resource for us. We want to really jump into that. But it sounds like in addition to that, we have other things we've talked about: working expireds, working on YouTube videos. There's a number of things we've talked about, but it sounds like we need to add 1 or 2 more of those into our regular routine in order to grow our sphere.
yes, you definitely can. And what I would do is try to dip into some community involvement activities, certainly, because then all of those community involvement activities will be like COVID regulation safe. So you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And see if you can get on to like serving as a volunteer or on the board of directors for a local nonprofit. Like begin to build real relationships and friendships with people in the local community. And then that will help. And that's a long-term goal, you guys. It's not going to convert right away, but you do need to get like start building that. So yeah, the shorter term stuff absolutely is door knocking, the open houses, a lot of that stuff are activities that you can do all within like, so the door knocking you can absolutely do around an open house, lead magnets, all of that. And we teach an open house class for that purpose. What I would say is, because the market is so competitive right now, is you'll want to take the onus for yourself to actually pull a list of all of the coming soon listings before they've hit the market. Reach out directly with those listing brokers and say, we're new to the area. We'd love to hold an open house for you on this listing that's coming to the market. And what days might be available? Are you interested in having that help? Like, can we do that? That way you don't miss it, because there's so much planning that goes into an open house. If you don't catch it in the pre-list phase, you're probably going to miss it.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Great. Thank you.
Thank
You're
you.
welcome. Yeah, you guys are just like kind of going all over the page. So this is the one thing that I do not prefer about the Zoom like participants window. I wish it would be static. Like once you guys sign in, it's like in order of how you've signed in, but it doesn't, it moves around all the time. But that's okay. I took pictures of the list, so I'm just going to go back to those. Okay, Brandy. Let's talk about your lead generation so far.
So I did have an appointment this morning, so I didn't get any. Well, I got one before the call inserted in my book, my command, my command contacts. But after the call, I'm gonna be calling more people and sending out some handwritten notes. But yeah.
Excellent. So you're just getting started. You're just getting into the hang of it. And I think, Brandy, are you still doing dual career? Are you still working and doing this at the same time? So
Yeah.
I just want you to know, if like time management becomes an issue for any of you who are dual career, like trying to do working and this at the same time and need to have a conversation around, when should I actually do my lead generation? Since I'm actually working in the morning and coming to class in the afternoon. let's not avoid that conversation, because we can actually sit down with your work schedule and the class schedule and try to figure it out with you so that you can time block and really protect your time. Okay. Cool. Next would be Gwendolyn.
As a matter of fact, as the Alexes were talking about this, I'm realizing I'm very much in the same position. I moved to Florence in November. So to be perfectly honest, my sphere exists in Roseburg, not in Florence. So the people that I'm reaching out to that I've known over the course of anywhere from 6 to 3 years are the ones that I've been reaching out to. And they're pretty much all in Oregon. Some of them are even in California. So, so I wrote down some of the things you said, and I think that will help to boost my sphere out here.
Yeah.
I also went to the scripting class today, and I made some really great connections in there, and I observed what a buyer presentation should look like. It was super beneficial. And then when I friended one of the people there, actually, he's going to help me enhance my network now too, because he's getting me involved in with a lender out here. So
Good.
I'm discovering new ways to network, and then that will help too. But within the last 2 days, I have reached out to 14 people. Yeah, 14 people. Of those, 9 of them have responded, but 3 of them were today. I had a pretty busy day. I didn't get up to 10 just yet. But I entered them into my command, and 2 of them, excuse me, work with a nonprofit called UC Veg, which is unfortunately still in Roseburg. But I viewed this as another opportunity for me to network with some of the people in the UC Veg, and I've known these people a long time too. I used to teach them. I used to do cooking classes with them. So, I think that will be also beneficial, but I really would like to start building my Florence sphere as well. So
yeah, absolutely.
kind of,
Gwendolyn. One of the things too, because Florence is on the coast, but if you take the highway right, essentially from around the Roseburg area and then go west, how far of a drive is it for you? From how far apart are they?
So from Florence to Roseburg is 2 hours. I have I have a very dear friend in Reedsport though, so that makes it about an hour and a half. But to Eugene is like an hour and 20 minutes, but I have no sphere in Eugene. So
I was just thinking, part of the conversation with your sphere, at least to get through that activity and also, just maintain connections and relationships. When you're on the phone with the folks in Roseburg, say you can tell them you're excited and this is what you're doing, this is where you're at. Hey, do you have any friends or family in, where are you at again? I'm so sorry.
It's okay. You're fine. Florence.
In Florence.
Or even on the coast, because Coos Bay is, closer than Roseburg. Yachats probably is too.
Yeah, absolutely. So start asking your actual sphere to say I'm wanting to build some relationships locally. Do you know anyone that I should connect with, that I can go out to lunch with or have coffee with here locally? I'm new to the area and I'm really wanting to build a network and a support system around me locally. Your friends are totally going to make those connections for you if they know anyone in the area. And then I don't know much about Florence, but I do know Coos Bay specifically has a lot of community involvement stuff, especially around the arts. So I would try to plug into some of those things and see if you can start to build a local sphere. And maybe Florence is the same, but I do know those coastal towns are kind of like that, a little bit crunchy, a little bit hippie, a little bit artistic. And and then maybe your connection that you have already with the nonprofit organization, you can dig deeper and see if they want to do some kind of a expansion to the coast that you could help with, or even just an event there every once in a while that you could help with, a cooking class or something like that. So
as a matter of fact, she did say that they were starting to push out specifically to Florence. So I was pretty excited about that, because I've already been involved with UC Veg for quite some time. So
I would definitely keep your finger on the pulse of that, because having an opportunity to be really involved in a community nonprofit would be really valuable to you.
Okay, great. Thank you so much.
Yep. Next is Jackie Rogers. Jackie.
Okay, sorry. I'm on two different things. Can you hear me?
I can. Your audio is loud and clear. Thank you.
Nice. So I've got my audio on my phone and my video on my computer. Okay, so I still don't have access, as you know, to command, so I can't input anything, but I'm writing it all down. I have 5 yesterday, and then I'm on 6 for today, but I'll get the 10 by the end of the day when we're done here. So I'm just contacting the people and writing down addresses, letting them know that as soon as I have business cards, I will be sending them out. And so I've got everything pre-addressed so far from who I've spoken to. So I'll just be ready as soon as I have business cards to mail those out. And I'm just adding to the pile each day. And then that's 10, I'm making phone calls so far. I haven't had to text or email anybody. I have not input them in command, but I've written them down, and I have not sent them out, but I've gotten ready. And previews of homes. So since I don't have access yet, I'm just going to open houses that are just available. There's actually one tonight that I'm going to. And then I've just been doing the video previews, whatever's available on Zillow, since I don't have any Kelly app access or anything right now, just doing the video tours that they have.
Excellent. Well, that's a really good way to engage, super engage. I know you're waiting for your license to become active and to actually get pulled into the market center over the next few days here. So good job getting it done. Really good. Okay, who is next on my list here? Jamar Lampkin.
Hello, good morning.
Morning.
Where do I
Good
start?
morning, afternoon. Is it morning? Not. It's 1:35.
Oh, good afternoon. It's been a long day, excuse me. As far as my contacts, I think I've hit 7 contacts today. I've started going back through my sphere of influence and a lot of people. So I've been an agent, but I've been managing my own business. So I've taken a little time away. So a lot of people have forgotten that I have been doing real estate. So I have took it upon myself to go back through my sphere and just start reminding people that I am still in real estate, doing real estate, and just trying to go that route. So I haven't had any appointments scheduled, but I think that I have some people who have said they'll be looking out for me. So hopefully that'll be changing in the next couple of days.
Excellent. So you run another business in auxiliary to your real estate business, is that right?
Correct. Mm-hmm.
What is that?
Technology. I install surveillance security cameras for residential and commercial properties.
Oh, awesome. Yeah. Do you run any social media? Like, do you have a following on social media or a group of any number?
I do. So I do have my real estate business page, and then I have my other business, a business Facebook page for my technology business. So I do have a small following.
What about your personal Facebook page?
I do. I got over 600 plus friends on my personal Facebook, and so those are actually the ones I've been reaching out to here today. Is started reaching out to a lot of my Facebook friends, just messaging, trying to catch up, and then asking them if they knew anybody that is looking to buy, sell, or invest in the real estate. If so, if they can pass along my information.
Yeah, absolutely. And I would definitely I think a really good technique for, you can do business posts and share them to your personal page. But I actually think the best thing to do is while you're doing your 10-4, and especially when you're in the homes, like 10 homes a week, to do like a selfie or take a video, put it in your personal Facebook page story, because it's part of your personal life, right? You're just out doing an activity, but it's those where you're not necessarily asking for the business, but it certainly counts as a touch. It's in your story. Your friends see it. They see you doing active real estate business. You'll see that naturally, it's not so much of a secret agent situation anymore.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So that might help with that. Especially since you have 600 right there. Like that's a database in and of itself. And you have all the functionality on Facebook to send messages, make phone calls, like engage with them on their own personal life. You get to kind of spy on them because you can see what they're up to. Like, so you can utilize that to your advantage. And I would say just don't like, you know, some people can overdo it and be totally filthy on their personal Facebook page. So don't do that, but you can totally engage with them on another level. And if you have an issue where you're being a secret agent to your sphere, that's the best way to solve that. Throw in a Facebook story every once in a while that's business related, but not an advertisement.
Gotcha. Okay. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. And good job on your lead generation. Jerry Lynn Meyer. Jerry Lynn Meyer.
Hello. Yeah, I've been putting contacts and trying to dig up as much information. A lot of people I know just on Facebook, so I'm kind of going to their profiles, trying to get things like their address or a date of birth or something. And as I do that, I'm reaching out to them either via telephone if I have their number, and just kind of touching base and just letting them know I'm in real estate, and if they know anybody who's looking to buy or sell, you know, the response was really good. I'm really excited about it. And then a couple of them I offered to send some business cards and they said yes, which was great. So I was able to do a couple of mailings yesterday with that. And other than that, not too much. I'm actually in the middle of trying to juggle 2 escrows. So my time is like, yeah.
Well,
So
hey, that's happy news. That's really, really great stuff.
It's good news. Yeah, it's for family. Both escrows actually are for family, which is great. So there's kind of this really great feeling about I won for them and got them in escrow. And so trying to do these classes, manage those escrows, and trying to do rough. It's really rough, but I know it'll get better. So.
What? Are you fucking crazy? Are you?
Brody?
Oh, bro.
There you go.
Okay, cool. So sorry about that. Yeah, it makes sense. I've got lots of coaching clients that find that that's the struggle once they do get into production, that they kind of let their lead generation fall by the wayside. I think one thing to keep in mind and kind of reframe is to try to really protect your lead generation time, because it's your future business. Yep. Time blocking is really appropriate for that, and finding a time that's a non-negotiable for you for lead generation, whether that be in the morning or the evening or around lunchtime. Just a certain time of day that, you know, like you're actually not answering your phone for actual clients or anything. You're not answering your emails. You're not doing any of that. You're going to do really structured lead generation time, whatever that happens to be. That's what you'll be doing, and only that. Even if you protect, like, you know, we recommend 2 hours of lead generation a day, but if you are struggling with time, if you protect 30 minutes a day, you'll be surprised how many people you can actually get in contact with in that short amount of time. And that will at least hedge a little bit of protection around your business and continue to give you some momentum moving forward. You know, so if you find it's a struggle, like, it's okay. We all go through the messy middle where it's a struggle, but just do the most important thing. Since when we talk about your 20%, it's the most important thing to lead generate. Protect your time. Try to at least throw it out and see what sticks. So even if you're just sending like 30 text messages and it's all the same text message, like, hey, just thinking about you today, you know, like we should get together sometime. Like,
that's great. That's a great idea.
Where you're just like throwing it out there, they're definitely going to respond. And then you can set up some coffee meetings or some Zoom calls or whatever you want, but you're still engaging your sphere. And then you can move on to the business of helping your clients.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you.
You're welcome. I know the struggle is real, my dear.
We're trying to figure out the technology as I go. Where do I need to put things? How do I use DocuSign? There's a lot there, but I'm learning the hard way. But I'll get it.
Yes, you will.
Thank you.
Okay, Jessica, I think it's O'Melian. Yeah.
Hey there.
Hi.
I've been keeping up with the 10-4s. So I've been doing that every day. Today I've been really digging into MLS. If you recall, I just moved here from Wisconsin, so I was a licensed broker there for the last 5 years, but new to Oregon and definitely new to Keller Williams. So I've been digging into the tech, but today mainly focusing on learning new MLS.
Awesome. Great job.
Thanks.
Joyce. You'll have to help me with your last name, but I think it's Feliciano.
Yeah, that's right.
Yay! Okay, how's your 10-4 going?
Well, I've only been to the Monday orientation. I didn't get to the Tuesday. So I don't know about all the lingo, but I've been thinking about my sphere, and at first I thought it was so small, like I don't know nobody. And then I just realized, oh, well, every day, or nearly every day, I try to play tennis or work out. And I've been reluctant to tell people that I'm licensed now. And so the first couple that I did mention it to, and I had no clue, their husbands are commercial developers, and they were saying how, oh, they work with brokers all the time. And I'm thinking to myself, well, frick, I don't have a card and I know nothing about commercial realty. And I've known these ladies for years, and I know their husbands have been doing this for probably like 40 years.
Yeah.
And I don't know how, and I know they'd be happy to talk to me. And I just don't know how to, I know nothing about commercial realty or, and I've always been interested in it and thought of it as a niche to gravitate towards, but I just, I'm so early in my career. It's nice to know that I have these contacts. I just don't know, maybe just chat with them for fun, for socially, and just see if they're willing to mentor a little bit. And
yeah, I mean, I would say they're both commercial brokers, or they're actual developers?
They're developers.
Oh yeah. So, but it's definitely in commercial spaces like retail, or is it like multifamily housing? Do you kind of know what their niche is?
One of them I don't know. The other one, she's mentioned some of the buildings that they've owned, and they're quite big.
Well, what I would do is just have lunch with it. See if they'll sit down with you for lunch or coffee or dinner. If it's a social thing, you go over to their house. Just so you can pick their brain. Like, they obviously have a lot of knowledge. If in the real estate industry, a lot of their expertise will probably be around land use and zoning and site prep and just things like that. All really good stuff to know, even if you're a residential broker or a land broker or any of those things. So I would just have like a social experience with them where you get to kind of pick their brain professionally and let that relationship just develop organically.
Okay.
Because I think as you move through your first quarter and you start to build things, you'll kind of understand where your path, it will become more clear, your career path. Because it is shaped kind of around your sphere and the connections you can make and the opportunity you can see. But just let it be organic. Don't overthink it. Just go have dinner, have a great conversation, learn as much as you can. You're obviously new, so you can just ask all the questions and they'll be excited, I'm sure, to just engage with you about it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool. So the lead generation is going well for you. You said you're surprised. You feel like you know more people than you thought you knew initially.
Yeah, I feel like I don't. It feels odd to me to tell people that I'm a realtor, and so I'm getting more accustomed to telling people, and and it's funny because I was talking to a friend of mine. She's a family law lawyer, and she was saying that she generates 95% of her business from the contacts from just playing tennis. And I thought, well, maybe I should do that too. And it's funny, the tennis world is pretty compact, and we all kind of know each other and have a passion for it. And so I thought, gosh, I really need to pursue my team. And I actually coach too at a high school. And I just need to be more aggressive about pursuing my tennis world. And I was impressed that 95% of the business came from that. And so I'm thinking that's where I need to pursue my contacts.
Yeah, absolutely. Joyce, who's your coach?
Stephen Malfa.
Okay. What market center are you in?
Realty Professionals.
Okay, awesome. Get with your coach and have a more pointed one-on-one discussion around your strategy on that, because yes, I do think that'll be really valuable. There is strategy and resources on how to leverage that kind of an activity. And so I think like having a conversation like, yeah, how do I go about doing this? What would be the best practices here? It would be a good one-on-one conversation with your coach for sure.
Okay.
And I do agree, like that you can get a lot of business from basically networking. And it sounds like you have some great connections and some good opportunity there. So I would definitely leverage that to your advantage.
Okay.
Yep. Okay. Julie. I just have a first name. So unless you've recently changed your first and last name, it's just Julie.
I know.
There you go.
I'm not really sure how to put my last name in there.
Oh, that's okay. It's totally fine. How's your 10-4 going?
Good. So I made 4 contacts and did 4 CMAs and got 2 new lender contacts.
You did 4 CMAs.
Mm-hmm.
4 actual folks who are interested in the value of their property?
Yes.
Excellent. And how did you come about finding those folks who are interested?
Facebook ad.
Very good. Did you run an ad around a listing, or did you run an ad like specifically wondering what their value was worth?
Yes, specifically.
Excellent. Good job, Julie. That is some excellent results. How long do you think it took you from the moment you ran your Facebook ad, calling through and getting them to say yes for those CMAs and having those like what did that look like time frame wise?
Yeah, it was actually immediately.
Immediately.
It's only been, I only had the ad running 3 days, and I've already had 4 that actually put their address and email and phone number, so I could do the CMA and talk with them.
Excellent. That is fantastic. Who's your coach, Julie?
My coach is Mara.
Mara. So you're not
like
Eugene or Bend?
No, I'm in Bend.
Bend. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's super. That's an excellent result. I hope you're super happy with it. Continue to do that and nurture that. It's obviously working for you. Yay!
Yeah, so I'm super excited.
All right. Good job, lady.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, Marissa Fetis or Fetis. I'm so sorry, I'm butchering your name.
It's okay. It's Fetis.
Fetis. Okay, cool. How's your Legion going?
Good. I have been keeping up with the 10-4 the last day. I made 10 contacts. 8 got back to me and I added them to my database. They're just people from my sphere of people that I already know, kind of letting them know what I'm doing, getting into real estate, asking to send them business cards so that they can have those handy in case they know of anyone. But I am waiting until I get my business cards to actually mail them out. So I should be getting those probably next week. And then I have a meeting set up Friday with a lender to meet with them and kind of get my face in front of them and make a new contact there.
Excellent.
And, but I have not gone to any showings yet. That is something that I need to work on. So actually getting out there and looking at homes for sale.
You have access to the MLS?
Yes, I do.
Yes. So just pull your list of vacant homes and look through it. The word you're going to look for is like show and go or text agent for showing, and that it's vacant. Those are the easiest ones because you don't have to schedule an appointment, and then you can just bust through a whole bunch of them all at one time.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Yep, you're welcome. Great job. Okay, next on my list after Marissa, we are almost done with this part. I do believe this is the largest class I've ever done accountability for. So, but that's okay. I was hoping to start by 2. I think we're going to be really close. Start with the actual curriculum by 2. So I think we're going to be really close. Michael Murray or Murray. Oh, I love it. Haven't quite figured out your audio, but there you are, direct. Like, here's my stuff. I love it. That's good to go, buddy. Thank you. Natalie Wasserman.
Yeah, hi. So today I had to stop by the Eugene office, and OTM Mortgage is just on the first floor. So I walked in there and introduced myself to everybody in that office. And then I am shadowing an open house on Saturday, and oops, sorry about that. And then I have a meeting with the title company on Monday.
That's good. So you're doing some business to business relationships.
Yeah.
Are you new to the area or do you have a local sphere?
Yeah, no, I just moved here 3 weeks ago.
Okay, cool. So that's amazing. And maybe a little bit scary, but it's like you're grabbing the bull by the horns. I can see you're like, I walked right into that office and introduced myself to everybody.
Yeah. The front person wasn't even there. So I just went to someone's office and knocked on the door and said, hi, I'm Natalie. And they were like hi.
Well, Natalie, really great job. What are you going to do to engage and start building a local sphere? What is your plan? Do you have your mind wrapped around that yet?
Yeah, I guess I was kind of thinking about starting small. I have a friend from Colorado who has extended family out here. So I'm probably going to go bug them a little bit and then just like start giving them my card. So if they have friends and like in their community and whatnot.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I would borrow their sphere. So you can just tell them like, I'm super new to the area. I'm like, whatever the story is, just be yourself, but be like, I need to meet people and get to know folks. I'd love to start building a local support system, just personally, socially. Like, where do you suggest I start? Do you have any good,
Yeah. Good neighbors is, slowly introducing myself to where I live.
Yes, because when you're new to the area, like it's definitely not all about like it is about getting real estate deals. And so you'll have to, your other 2 legs of your business will have to be focused on open houses and door knocking and just like basically those cold sales activities, right?
Mm-hmm.
But there is something to be said about building friends in the area because that will long-term feed your business. So make sure you do spend a little bit of time focusing on that activity and just trying to get connected. Because it's easy, especially right now, I think in this COVID environment, to just be like, well, I moved here and now I'm just I'm here in my own little bubble. Like we still have to be really intentional to engage on a social level. So do you have many friends in the area yet?
Yeah, no.
Okay.
Yeah, it's the neighbors and, trying not to scare them off too much just yet. So
where are you at again? Which market?
Eugene and Springfield.
Eugene, yeah. Are like restaurants and bars are open in your area? Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. So I'll probably go out and
try to branch out a little
I'll make friends. I'm not too worried about it, to be honest.
I know you seem pretty sociable. Okay, cool. Good job, lady. And then Noe, is it Noe? Am I pronouncing that right?
Yes.
Noe. Okay, excellent. You spoke at the very beginning and we know that you're killing it. You talked to some folks and you got some good results. Yes?
Yeah, I've been busy this week. Today I actually called 9 people. 5 of those are contacts that I already entered into my command, and then talked to a couple of lenders, introduced myself to them, and asked some questions. They were very friendly, very eager to help. And then, like I said, I got my first scheduled appointments, so that's exciting.
Yes.
And met a contractor and a plumber. So those are connections that, who knows, maybe in the near future they may have something for me. But yeah, I know it's going great. I've added 26 contacts into my database.
Good. Excellent job. Very, very good. Sonia, you are next. Sonia, is it Rahimi?
Yeah, it's Rahimi. A lot of people say Rahimi, so I'm pretty surprised.
I try my best.
No worries. Well, I have another job and I manage it. So I manage a bar, so I haven't had that much time, but I have been speaking to a lot of people and they're just waiting for my business cards, which I already ordered it like yesterday. So it should be coming in next week so I can give it to all the customers that have been asking. I have 2 people that have asked me to look for duplexes for them and for homes. And my sponsor is having me show the homes to her clients tomorrow and Saturday. So I've already been into the RMLS and seen the homes and learned the lockbox and everything else. And I also met my escrow officer today, and I'm working with First American. So I will meet the title agent next week, hopefully.
Awesome. Wow. Way to just get right on the ball. That sounds amazing. Remind me what market center you're in.
I'm working for Keller Williams, Eugene and Springfield.
Eugene Springfield. Great. So Mara is your coach down there.
Yeah.
And awesome. Keep up the good work. Like keep plugging away at it. And yeah, welcome to class. There's 2 Taylors here at the end. That's why I was like, oh, is this the same person? But no, you guys have different last names. So Taylor Stevens is next. How is your lead gen going, Taylor? Taylor Stevens.
It's going pretty well, I guess, for what it can be. So I'm only 21. So most of the people I know are still in college, which makes it kind of hard because they do not own, they're not in a place to buy homes yet. So I've been asking for their parents' contact information.
There you go.
Because I'm like, oh, they're not ready, but their parents might be. And then I also am a spin studio manager. So pretty much anyone that comes in and like I know them, I also tell them that I do real estate because the clientele is, I would say the average age is around like mid-30s. So a lot more viable contact options. So I've been working on that at my other full-time job.
Excellent. Really good job. One of the things I would recommend, since you have a younger sphere, did you design your 3 legs of business yet?
I have not, no.
Okay. Have you been chewing on it and thinking, rolling it around a little bit?
Yeah, I'm not quite sure yet.
Yeah. Is there something you're leaning more towards than others, or do you want to have like a follow up with Mara?
I don't know quite yet, like what I mean, it's hard too, because I'm like super busy. So I'm like, oh, when am I gonna do all this? But I'm not sure.
It's okay. It's okay. Totally fine. I just wanted to throw an idea out there to you. This is obviously a long-term business idea, but it's excellent to start like putting easy systems in place now that will get you future business. And I would definitely engage your younger sphere in some financial education, especially around credit improvement and lending practices, especially if they're in college, because they'll want to know, and they will probably be surprised by some of the lending requirements around student loans or student debt, and the way it counts towards your debt to income ratio when you're applying for a home loan. You know, most folks want to go to college, and the American dream is like go to college, get married, like have like buy the house, do the 2.5 kids and a dog picket fence thing. And when they get to the picket fence idea, and they discover that the bank is going to charge them 1% of the total balance as the monthly payment and not the actual payment, that'll be like a huge hurdle for them. So I would start all of those financial situations and conversations early, especially if it's like in their 5-year plan to buy a house, so that because it will change their behavior now. And I think that would be really, really helpful.
Awesome. Thank you.
You're welcome. Tyler Zilstra.
Hey.
Hey.
So I got 6 database entries in, and one of my friends said he's looking to buy a home, but it's out of state. So I'm actually looking to refer him to an agent. And then I'm looking in the MLS right now for vacant homes I can preview, kind of like what you're saying, the show and go. I saw those private remarks that were on there. And then also I'm setting up my cold calling setup over the next couple of days, and then I'll probably get some door knocking going in the next week or so. Yeah.
Awesome. Did you choose someone or like a vendor for your cold calling setup?
Yeah, Mojo Dialer.
Yeah.
Yeah, my friend uses that and he recommended it for me. So
Awesome.
yeah.
Great job. I think you'll find the daily contacts will be much easier once you have your dialer squared away and you are starting to do that.
Yeah.
Remind me about your 3 legs of business, Taylor. Are you local? Like, are you new to the Salem area, or are you local and you have a sphere?
Yeah, I am new. So I've been working my sphere with my family-in-law, and I'm going to start door knocking and cold calling to kind of build that.
Absolutely.
I've been working with some churches locally, talking to some people like with the pastor, and just trying to build some friends and build a bigger sphere.
Excellent. You're doing all the right things. Keep it up.
Thanks.
All right. Taylor was the last one. We made it through. We did it. Okay. We are going to go into our actual material for the day. This is called Ignite Your Business. I'm going to go over the chapter goals, and then I'm actually going to give you guys a 5-minute break. You can, go to the restroom, get a drink, do whatever you need to do, and then we'll dive right in. But in this chapter, essentially, we're gonna use this to discover a lot about your big why. Essentially, your motivation around doing the hard things around lead generation, because not everybody wants to do that lead generation every day, especially if it's been a rough day or a rough week or whatever. So really connecting it to your big why and getting really in touch with that like emotional reason why you've chosen to do real estate and how it's going to support your life goals is going to be vital for you in your career. That's why we teach it as the first class in Ignite. So doing that, committing to those daily lead generation activities and how to grow your business. We're going to have some conversations around that. And then we're going to talk about scripts and using influencing sales language. There's a short video to watch there. And then being accountable to your big why. So this is mostly around getting really grounded around your big why, and some wonderful activities there. It's one of my favorite classes to teach, actually. So take 5. That's going to be kind of an odd number, but that'll put us back at 12 after 2, if I did my math right. Okay. So 12 after 2, and we'll get started. Hello, everyone. I am back. I'm gonna set up our screen share and then we will get started. So where are you? There you are. This is the one we want. I'm actually going to share the whole screen. That way I can actually flip between things a little easier. Sounds good. Okay, can everyone hear me and see me and see the screen?
Yes.
We are a go. Excellent. Okay, beautiful. So like I said, this session is called Ignite Your Business, where essentially I want to drive home two main points today. One is knowing why on earth you're doing this in the first place. And two is knowing what is the most important thing that you can do to launch your business successfully and to gain momentum in doing so. And the reason we teach about these two things together is because probably one does not happen without the other. Because on the tough days, on the days where you don't want to step outside of your comfort zone, you're going to have that reason why to do it. So let's talk a little bit around lead generation, not too much. I'm going to lightly touch on it because we've just spent an hour going over our 10-4s. We're all like really clear around those expectations. But if you're not clear, please don't be afraid to speak up now during this conversation to dial in any questions that you have. So I'll pose this question to the group. Feel free to answer audibly or in the chat. Do you feel like you believe you've reached your financial goals throughout your career, not just real estate, but so far in life? Why or why not? Like, do you feel like you have more growth or more financial goals to achieve? Yes or no? Feel free to unmute or type it in the chat.
Yes.
Yes.
I know, I feel the same way. Like we're on the same page. I just want to keep making more and more money every year. Okay, great. What do you think is the one thing that makes one real estate agent more successful than others around them? If you were to look at a subsection of real estate agents, one sticking out as like, wow, they're really doing a lot of business.
Being consistent.
Being consistent. What does that mean, Alex?
That means whatever style of lead generation you're utilizing, that you're doing it every day, that you're intending to do it. Every time you get a lead, you're following up with them, whether it's 8 touches or 36 touches in a year, whether it's a mailer that you're planning on farming a neighborhood with, that you're sending every month, that you're always doing it, that you're always doing your lead generation no matter what.
Yeah, I love the answer. I knew that's what you meant, by the way, but I did want you to go a little bit deeper because I just love, like, that's exactly where we're headed with this conversation. Which is, being disciplined. That's a lot of self-discipline, your own onus, being consistent. And it's really being consistent in one thing, how you show up in your lead generation. Because you can be a really good realtor. In fact, we're all great realtors. We can all do the contracts. We all think customer service is awesome, and we have really high standards and expectations around that. Obviously, we all carry that heavy burden of our fiduciary responsibility. So we show up as professionals, but the thing that makes us stand out in actual production, that is in units, in volume, and your revenue that you make, and then again on the back end, profit that you end up with in your pocket at the end of the year, is all around one, consistent activity, and that is lead generation. Thank you, Alex, gold star winner for the day.
Thank you.
So Gary Keller has kind of poses this question to all new agents. Of course, he's written this curriculum, and he's an amazing realtor himself and has coached some amazing realtors in the business. And he poses this one question, which is your desire to succeed more powerful than your fear from doing the one thing that will make you successful? Let me read that one more time. Is your desire to succeed more powerful than your fear from doing the one thing that will make you successful? Definitely. Everyone get into the chat right now and put your answer. This is definitely one I want to see everybody's answer. I love the energy. Awesome. Yay. That's really, really great. I think big yeses. Too old to have fear. I love these. Awesome. Like very, very good. And you know what? If you're in the room and you're like, actually, I'm not sure I can answer yes to that question. That's okay too. This is a safe space for that answer. But I would say if that is your answer, that's your first mindset. Like that is your first thing to overcome with your coach. Engage in a one-on-one conversation around mindset and discover, go deeper on that, and then make sure to build a way to get around it. Because at the end of the day, your desire to succeed has to be stronger than your fear of the activities that you'll be asked to do or that you have the opportunity to try out during this first quarter. We're going to teach you all the different ways of lead generation. You're welcome to try them on for size and measure your results, and also measure, like, does this feel true to my own self, my personality, what I want to do? Way more than one way to get this done, you guys. I want you to just know that up front. So you can try some things out, but if you do, like, I would try them for at least a quarter and then go back and measure your results so that you're making a decision on something more than a feeling. That makes sense? I'll take that quietness as a yes, and we will continue right along. Maybe we'll continue along. There we go. Okay. I would like you guys to turn to page 10. This has a lot to do with what Alex said earlier around being consistent. This is a whole conversation around self-mastery and what Keller Williams likes to call the 6 personal perspectives. Show of hands, you can unmute and holler at me or just wave or whatever, but you guys all have a book in front of you, a binder in front of you. Mm-hmm. Excellent. Okay, excellent. So let's just take it from the top, this section on self-mastery. I would like to just have you read like the whole section. So if somebody could unmute and read step 1, commit to self-mastery, that's on page, should be on page 10 of your notebook. And then we'll just round robin and go to section 2, 3, 4 on throughout all of the different personal perspectives.
Just read through step 1.
Yep, all of step 1.
Okay. Step 1, commit to self-mastery. Self-mastery is the possession of great knowledge, skills, and habits that make you the master of you. When you commit to achieving self-mastery, you, 1, know your goals, 2, know your strengths and weaknesses, And 3, know how to work with both your strengths and weaknesses to seek and master the necessary knowledge, skills, and habits to reach your goals. And then it says, throughout Ignite, you will be acquiring the skills and developing habits to be successful, moving you towards self-mastery.
Excellent. So know your goals, know your strengths and weaknesses, and know how to work with both your strengths and weaknesses to seek and master the necessary knowledge. Okay, tell me a little bit about how you feel like this will be real in your own businesses. Like, what does it mean, know your strengths and weaknesses, and seek and master necessary knowledge, skills, and habits to reach your goals?
Well, I think you learn pretty quick what your weaknesses are. And then once you figure out your weaknesses, you can take a weakness and turn it into a strength, you know, one at a time. And then also it helps you kind of learn what to look for in other people. Like, are you being too aggressive? Are you not being aggressive enough? You know, how off, you know, so you can kind of, it helps you learn how to read people. Even if they're not looking to do any kind of real estate transactions, even within the next year, they can at least keep you in mind. And if they know of anybody, they can say, well, I talked to this person and I know, you know, that would be a good person to talk to. So at least you can get referrals from other people.
Yeah. Yeah, I would say, yeah, this will show up in a few ways. That's a really good way that will show up. And another way is being able to just be real with what your reality is, right? And you don't have to be good at everything. If you're good at some stuff that's going to get you results, then do the stuff you're good at. Put the stuff you're not good at, if you feel like it, on a personal development plan and slowly get better over time. But for example, if you discover that you're just like terrible at 100% of every single lead generating activity,
you can't be.
I'm just saying, like, so, you know, if it's like 100% of lead generation makes you wildly uncomfortable, and you also feel super awkward doing every single thing that you try out, that's something that you have to be able to identify right away, move it to the top of your development plan, rip the Band-Aid, and start working towards self-mastery, because you will not have a business without the lead generation part. So that's what it means by know yourself, strengths and weaknesses. The other part of it is, you know, if, for example, like you go door knocking and you super enjoy door knocking and you've also got great results. It feels really good when you do it. You get some energy out of it. You're super excited because you do get some leads and that works for you. Then you know that that's like one of your things. You're like, yeah, I'm a door knocker. And let's say you also are using a Mojo dialer, but you feel, you know, way less good about the Mojo dialer than the door knocking. And you're spending a lot of time Mojo dialing, but your results are like not as awesome. It drains you of energy. It generally makes you not enjoy your career. Hey, if you have an activity that you enjoy that makes you happy, that is getting you leads, then just drop the dialing and do that thing. But if you haven't found that activity that's actually getting you measurable results, then that's when you want to focus on self-improvement to just get better at something that gets you measurable results. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Cool. So that's like you guys will be in that process of self-discovery. That's what this first quarter is about. That's essentially what your whole first year in real estate is about, is really dialing in how do you want to run your business and what's going to get you good results. Who is my step number 2, committing to the 80-20?
I can do it.
Excellent. Go ahead, Leah.
Commit to the 80-20 principle. The idea that 20% of your actions lead to 80% of your results may be one of the most powerful principles you can apply to your life. It's about getting the most from your time and effort. It's about maximizing your results. It's about having focus. In Ignite, we identify your 20% for you, your money-making activity, lead generation.
Yeah. So if it feels like we're beating a dead horse here, we are. And it is that when you're growing your business, actually, this never goes away in real estate. It sometimes gets like a little bit less intense, or it feels a little bit more natural because you've gotten into a rhythm. But your 20% truly is lead generation, talking to people about helping them buy, sell, or invest, right? That's what it is. Building relationships, nurturing relationships, showing up, coming from contribution, being a professional, but actually doing the activity of making the contact with the people. Okay, who's got step 3?
I can do it.
Excellent, Alex, go for it.
Move from E to P. High achievers are always looking for the purposeful way. By doing this, they break through the ceiling of their natural behavior. You can attain a certain level of success utilizing your natural abilities, but expect to hit a ceiling at some point. Wouldn't you like to achieve even greater success and break through that ceiling? How about living a larger life or attaining your goals? Ignite is not only designed to help you start your business, it is designed to help you grow your business. Ignite will help you move from entrepreneurial to purposeful with skill mastery.
Yeah, absolutely. So the way this shows up throughout this first quarter is, you know, an entrepreneurial approach to real estate is basically just having the contacts on Facebook or on your cell phone and like calling them or doing that mixer or going to that bar, and like naturally the business just kind of happens. That's being an accidental realtor. Purposeful would be to take all of those soft skills that bring you natural business, right? How you engage people naturally at a high level, doing all those social activities, engaging and all of that, but be purposeful in getting your contacts entered into command. Put on follow-up systems, like plan your business. Are you going to do events? Are you going to do pop buys? How are you going to nurture those relationships? Write it down, plug it in the calendar, make it happen on the day it says to make it happen. Do the prep work to be prepared for the activity. That's what being purposeful is in your business. So step number 4, being learning based. Need a volunteer for that one.
I'll do it. Step 4, make being learning-based the foundation of your action plan. A learning-based individual is an individual who has made the decision to use effective learning as the foundation piece for their action plan to develop their life. Training and education are a big part of moving forward to attain your goals and succeed at a high level. Learning-based individuals commit to the process of acquiring skill-based habits. Ignite is just the start for you as a learning-based individual. Keller Williams Realty offers many learning opportunities for you.
Absolutely. So, and being learning-based is very, very good. Here's the most important part about being learning-based that truly makes it learning, right? You can kind of know something or hear something or quote unquote learn about something, but you actually don't get the growth or the value from the learning until you can implement what you've learned. So my recommendation to you is take this a bite at a time, learn the thing, implement the thing, move on to the next thing to learn, right? And that's what this quarter is all about. And that's what this whole productivity coaching program is designed around, is to get you inside of a classroom environment, these Ignite sessions 1 through 12, that you can learn. And then those in between the productivity coaching sessions are additional classes. It's a labbing environment where we're live and we're doing the implementation piece. And then there's going to be days where you're going to have things on your checklist that you'll have to dedicate an hour or two to actually implementing. Okay, now I've learned all about this. I have this checklist. This is where I'm going to keep it. Like, here's the things. So make sure that you have that implementation piece in your mind too, and you're not just basically fire hosing all this information. Because if you do that, you'll get the information, you'll kind of think you know it, but you do most of your learning in the implementation phase when you're actually doing it. That's part of the reason why really great teachers will like teach you something and then have you declare what you learned and then have you teach someone else how to do it, right? Is because the implementation piece is like where most of the learning takes place. So do focus on building relationships with each other through this, you know, do focus on the implementation piece quite a bit. Do reach out to your coach around time management if you feel you're struggling with implementation. I have found that most new agents like have similar struggles, that they learn a lot. It's all good stuff. And sometimes it's failure to launch in just implementation of the system. So that's what your coaches are here for. Let's stay really plugged in and engaged with all of that.
And Shauna, can I just jump in real quick?
Yes, sir.
Alex Lurch put this in the chat, but in the spirit of, you know, supporting and connecting with one another and teaching one another, Alex made a Facebook group for this Ignite PC spring course. And so she's trying to friend as many people in the class as she can, so we can all be connected on Facebook. If people have questions, if people, you know, need help with anything, if anyone wants to make connections, even for referrals or anything, that'll be a good place to do that. So check out the chat and
yeah, there's already about 7 or 8 people that joined the group. All you have to do is friend me on Facebook and then I can send you the invite.
Excellent. Very, very good. I love that. That's such good culture. Alex Lurch, very good job. Make sure and friend the coaches that are in this group too, and then make sure and add us to that group. And then that way, if we see anything where we feel like, you know, we can provide some value, like we can see that and be engaged. But that's so awesome, because that's definitely what this is about. And I know when it's virtual and digital, it's easier to remain kind of separated, but I love that culture of like just connecting and being a cohort. That's going to really help you guys when you're launching your businesses, to have like these colleagues that you have shared experiences with. So yay, good job.
And Shauna, what's your last name so I can add you to that group?
On Facebook, it's like, I don't think it's hyphenated, but it's my maiden name and then last name. So it's Shauna Williamson Rife.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Yep. Okay, perfect. So we did learning base. We talked about implementation. Who's got number 5?
I will.
Awesome.
Remove your limiting beliefs. High achievers remove beliefs from their thinking that hold them back. In order to successfully develop at a higher level, you will need to clear your mind of limiting beliefs first. For example, are any of these thoughts in your head? I have to be an expert and know everything before I can begin my business. I'm not valid yet. I don't think I can achieve a profit goal that will fund my life this year. Because I'm in the business will come to me naturally. I don't need to devote 3 hours each day to lead generation. Do you want me to read the activity?
Nope, not right now. Let's just have a quick activity around, or like a quick discussion around those. Does anyone have any limiting beliefs right now?
I certainly started with the belief that and this was, of course, like before I even finished the test, was that the business would come to me naturally. That was not correct.
Like, oh, gotcha. Had a light bulb moment there, Gwendolyn. I just love that. Okay, excellent. Jerry Lynn, you had your hand up.
Yeah, I think I'm struggling with time management, because not only am I doing these classes, I've crammed in other classes on how to use all the technology, because I'm right in the middle of needing to use it. So, yeah. And so I'm feeling really overwhelmed.
Yep. And that's okay, Jerry. I'm right there with you. Like, the struggle is real. And I have coaching clients that are actively struggling with this. It's especially when you have some struggles around not just learning your job, but like also how to use the technology. It's a tough, like, you're between a rock and a hard place, but don't let that limit your business. I do think time management is, who did you say your coach was again? Mara.
Yeah.
I do think reach out to Mara for a one-on-one around the time management piece. And also, I know for sure if you are writing contracts and this technology is it the so is it command and like you using the follow-up systems that's your struggle, or is it like the contracts and zip forms and DocuSign?
Well, I've had to learn all of that on my own. I mean, I'm literally bumbling my way through. I've gotten the DocuSign down, and now I just realized the other day that you have to put it in two systems, I guess. You have to do in the transaction and then also on the Keller Williams so that they understand where the commission goes. So yeah, I'm trying to catch up like with how to deal with all those systems and bumble through it because I'm actively got two things going. So
You've got two things
yeah,
going.
I'm
You're not
stressed out.
Jerry, you do not have to do it alone. I know for sure Paris and Mara both have your back as far as, you know, getting you through that. So, you know, especially if you're like, you're preparing a commission tab, you are preparing a contract and you need to get on with somebody because you're stuck, definitely reach out to both either Paris or Mara to get some support. They will absolutely support you. Okay. 100%.
Yep. Thank you.
Yes. Okay. Let's see here. This activity, I'm actually just going to review this activity and see if we can skip it because I feel like did it a little bit verbally. But this is around your limiting beliefs. It has a suggestion here to redirect the negative thoughts into positive ones. Okay, so I will give you an example of this. I think this is good. This reminds me a lot of like counseling, cognitive behavior therapy. Like, I don't know if any of you have done counseling, but I'll just say I have cognitive behavioral therapy and like ANTS, like reprogramming automatic negative thinking patterns. It's a thing in psychology. So here we are. This is part of that. And their example is, okay, this is an example for the first limiting belief, which is I have to be an expert and know everything before I can begin my business. I am not valid yet, or I don't feel valid yet. The reframe for this is I need to be a professional, not an expert. Expertise will come from doing through time, and this training will best prepare me for success in real estate business, and taking productive action will cause my success. So, just like Jerry Lynn, she's actively in production, way to go. And she will actively reach out for help from her coaches as she's moving through, she's learning. It's not always comfortable, but it's definitely what success looks like, for sure. And so that is a really good reframe, especially if just you get to feeling a little bit stressed by any of your thinking patterns, okay? The second example is, I don't think I can achieve a profit goal that will fund my life this year. Their suggested reframe for that is when I set and track my goal and complete the activities required to meet my goal, I will fund my life this year. So essentially just being a little bit more positive about it. And if you can see there's actual actionable items. So like kind of the key to reworking some of your negative thinking patterns, and I would suggest that you guys do this when you get to feeling a little defeated, is like, go ahead and write down your thought. Nothing wrong with writing down a negative thought, right? You're dealing with reality, you're addressing the negativity. But then you're gonna specifically address like how you feel about that thought, what action are you going to take to basically turn it around or make the outcome differently for you. So you'll observe in these rewords that I've read that they specifically reframe it in the fact that it's an actionable item, right? Set and track my goal, complete the required activities to meet my goal, and it will result in funding my life this year. So basically saying like, hey, I know if I just do the things, track the things, I'm going to get there. Like that's the mindset you have to keep because it's the one that keeps you in motion, right? Good. Being a new realtor is hard work. It's hard work mentally. A lot of us are moving from like a 9-to-5 or some kind of a W-2 wages job into I'm a business owner now mindset. That's a lot of mental work right there, just that one thing. But as you know, there's that thing and then actually doing the business of real estate. So don't kid yourself. It's a lot of mental hard work. We're in it together. You're definitely going to need to reframe some of those thinking patterns. Just know they're going to be there. You got to identify them, deal with your reality, be able to reframe and move forward positively. Anyone have any questions around that?
No.
Cool. All right. Step number 6, be accountable. It is our 6th personal perspective. Who is going to volunteer to read that one?
I will.
Who is that?
Julie.
Julie, thank you.
You're welcome. As soon as I get over here. Okay. Step number 6, be accountable. Accountability is first and foremost an attitude and an approach to your entire life. An accountable person says, everything in my life is a result of my choices and actions. I own my life. Accountability is also a tool for continually changing the results in your life in those areas that matter most, your 20%. A person who is accountable in their 20% says, I own my life, and in certain areas, I want to continually improve my results. I will be purposeful, and I will be learning-based to continue improving. Ignite will provide you with tools to develop and cultivate your accountability to be successful.
Excellent. Okay, this is like a super important one because we use the word accountability in all kinds of different ways, right? It can be completely misconstrued. And I personally feel like if you do think about accountability in the wrong way, it definitely impacts the results that you end up receiving from your activity and your actions, right? So let's have a quick conversation around accountability and what it means for you. Group chat, everyone unmute.
This is Jerry.
Jerry, yeah.
So accountability for me is like showing up to these classes when I feel like I have so many other things that I need to deal with in my life, or following through with what I say I'm going to do. And I think what I'm getting from this class is being committed to an organized schedule so that you can make sure you make time to do all the things that you're supposed to do. So.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, the organized schedule, first of all, let me plug 2 things out of what you said. What I heard you say was you're holding yourself accountable. And when you say you're going to do something, you show up for it, which is absolutely amazing. It is the thing, like, right? Not just accountability, but just having that genuine, the word is completely escaping my mind right now. I just can't even understand my brain. Like the word, it's back here, it's in the like abyss, and I cannot pull it out to use it. But at any rate, you're holding yourself accountable, right? Because you said, hey, I'm going to show up and do this. You've also been super transparent, which I totally love. I think it's a huge part of accountability is being transparent and building that trust with the group, and just knowing that you're in a safe place to share those feelings of overwhelm. It's okay, because we're all probably going to get there at some point in this quarter. And as far as the schedule goes, that's part of self-mastery and knowing your 80-20. So it's going to help you feel better, really. It's just a tool to remove stress from your life, because if you're scheduled in, your brain is automatically going to take a break. You will have less stress in your life if it's written on a calendar and you know you're going to get to it eventually, or you're going to get to it at 2 p.m. or whatever. So, because there's all of this chaos going on in the back. If you don't have your systems and your checklists and your schedule and your brain dump opportunity at the end of the day or whatever to have everything written down, your brain's kind of constantly trying to prioritize and process that, and it's going to add a ton of overwhelm and a ton of stress. So it's not really a skill that you need to learn. It's just a thing you need to do to help yourself not be stressed. So I would definitely like no condemnation in that. It's certainly a tool you can use. And I know for sure if you start using it, you will feel better. Yeah. Thank you for sharing, Jerry, so much. Who else has anything to say around accountability? What does it mean for you?
I feel like you guys just summed it up.
That was a tie. Who talked?
I'll say something.
Okay.
I agree with what Jerry was saying, just sort of about when I sit down to do something, really focusing and being like 100% present with that task that I set out to do. I feel like oftentimes it's really easy to like get an email or just something else pops in your head. And then you're like, oh, I forgot this is really important too. So, which I feel like causes a lot of stress and chaos in our day. So yeah, I guess like just getting better at time blocking and putting away the phone or the laptop and just doing what needs to be done in that time slot.
Yeah, it does help. It's a sticky wicket, right? Because like, in this day and age, we have all of our things on our phone. And so we're like, well, how am I supposed to lead generate without my phone? But also I have 50 bazillion notifications on my phone. So there's some like little tips and tricks you can do. Like you can turn off your notifications or put it on do not disturb mode so that you're only hearing and seeing the notifications that, or, you're doing outward or whatever. It's probably always going to be one of those continual improvement processes where you have to be mindful of it and really be intentional. Like I still am intentional in my business around that. I still have to ask for active accountability with folks I have in relationship with. If I feel or I see a dip in my productivity, or my pipeline looks like it could be drying up, I'm like, okay, I need some focused activity, obviously uninterrupted, refocus on my 20, and I'm going to, do this. And I'm going to get some folks involved in holding me accountable to this, because sometimes it does, like, yeah, we're accountable to ourselves all day long, every day. But the minute you make it public and you also ask a friend or colleague that you can trust to hold you accountable, your productivity goes up because you're performing for someone else too. So it's like, do whatever you need to do to get it done at the end of the day. If you're more internally driven, then promise yourself. But if you need that external factor, just get a friend or family member involved who is serious about holding you accountable and will hold your feet to the fire a little bit if you need that. That's okay to ask for. Okay. All right. Excellent. This screen sharing thing is like my screen keeps pausing and I cannot advance my slides. Oh, there we go. It's weird, but here we are. Okay. Since this is the first class, I do want to quickly let you guys know, if you were in day one orientation, you will probably already know this. You were shown in the MyKW website how to get to your Ignite materials. You can also get to them by going to the kwtechhelp.com. That's our agent services division website under the Ignite tab, and there will be links to get to this. But this on the screen, can you see this? It says mission with the big arrow, like welcome to Ignite, and it's like a checklist, and you can see all of these little things. So these are on the Ignite days. These missions are actually homework that is due prior to starting Ignite. So you would have had mission 1, and don't feel bad if you didn't do it. Most people don't actually get the hang of it until, the second Ignite session, but you just go on to that kwtechhelp.com, click over to the Ignite materials tab, click on the missions, and the mission number will correlate with the Ignite number. So this is Ignite 1, mission 1 would go with it. And if you pull it up on your computer as a PDF, there's actually active links to the videos, any website you have to go to. You can just click through that PDF to like get the thing done that it's directing you to do. So it's very helpful to have it not only on paper, but like digital on your desktop, because it, like all these little black boxes with the triangles in them, like the play button. If you have it on a PDF version up on your computer, you can hit the play button, it'll play the videos for you. Does that make sense? So this is how to keep yourself organized. Just so that you know, like I said, it takes stress away from your life to write things down or to know or to have a list to run off of. This is your list. This is everything, okay? Everything that we teach, any implementation piece that you have will be on this checklist. And all you have to do is pull up this checklist before class, each Ignite session, and work through it. And then if you ever get stuck or you can't implement a piece of this, this is also your checklist, you know, highlight that or circle it in red or whatever, and reach out to your coach to get connected to the appropriate resources to kind of move past that if you get stuck. That way you're kind of implementing all along the way. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. Excellent. All right. We talked about note cards and all of that stuff. This is a conversation we've already had. I'm going to try to get us through to our activity. This is the one I was looking for, our activity around the big why. Because to me, this is the meat of the class. So I want to make sure you guys have plenty of time to do this activity. Okay, so turn to page 19, basically pages 19 through 22 is going to be our activity around the big why. Class says this should take about 15 minutes. If it takes a little bit longer, that's okay. I think the most important thing is actually arriving at the real thing, or at least by the end of the activity, knowing that you do need to dig a little deeper and spend some personal space and time figuring it out. Good. So on page 19, know your big why and your monetary goals. It says what drives you is not only your mindset and attitude, but what you're passionate about. This is what stirs your soul. Why are you in business? What do you hope to achieve for yourself and your family? The answer to all of these questions are essentially the foundation for your big why and the fuel that the big why and the fuel. I like completely lost my train of thought. Essentially, we're going to talk about two things. We're going to talk about your monetary goal, which we did talk about in day one a little bit. And for those folks who were not in day one, we're going to readdress that and touch on it here. But your big why are all of these things about what do you hope to achieve for yourself and your family? Why are you in business? And what actually stirs your soul? You want to get connected with those things that really bring out a passionate, emotional response in answering these kinds of questions. Passion for your big why. Anyone can achieve the goals set in this course, but not everyone will. The journey requires discipline and a commitment to follow models, systems, and a schedule every day. It requires passion towards something bigger than the task at hand. That's what your big why is about. First, have a big why built around your passion. Then all you have to do is follow the models you'll learn in the course to keep it going, and you'll achieve the success that you're looking for. It gives a little math problem at the bottom of page 19. It's like overlaid on an arrow. Gary is awesome about making everything a process and a system. And a big idea is essentially that passion for your big why, plus following the models, plus spending the time on the task consistently over time is the recipe for success. It builds momentum, it gets you the business, it gets you the dollars, it gets you the consistency you're looking for. Okay. I'm sure as I've started talking about this, you guys are already kind of beginning to think about what may make you very passionate about your own career. I'm going to take an example, or not an example. I'm going to take a volunteer to read page 20. And then when we're done reading page 20, I'm going to share a little bit about my big why with you, to kind of give you an example of how to make that connection. And then we're going to go into an activity of really figuring this out on an individual level. Okay. So who can read page 20? Just go ahead from top to bottom.
I'll do it.
Great, thank you.
All right, so it says top agents can all articulate their big why, and you will be able to do as well. A big why is what keeps them going when they're tired, bored, or disappointed. It's the spark that ignites their way every day. Your big why might be to have your financial success tied directly to your efforts instead of a salary controlled by the opinions of a boss. Definitely for me. To build your own business, to achieve a bigger life through your business. Big future. You want me to continue reading that?
Yep, go ahead.
Write down the date, 12 months from now. Now imagine this date is today. Your business is thriving and your life is everything you've dreamed of. Your customers rave about you, about the experience and value you provide, and think of you when they have a real estate need. Your family and friends are so proud of your success and are consistently referring business your way. You're helping others live their dream of owning a home because you are focused on helping them get what they desire. You're building the foundation and momentum for your entire career and gaining relationships and experiences and the income you desire. You're the top agent in your market center, or rookie of the year if you're a new one. You're poised to hire a part-time assistant to handle your 80% while you take care of the 20% that grows your business. You are on the path to
building a career worth having, a business worth owning, and a life worth living, which ultimately is Gary Keller's mission for every realtor that we're in business with. So what does that look like for you guys? You know, make sure to imagine yourself in that place. I think part of designing this is being able to step out of, you know, your current reality into, I'm already doing it. This is what it looks like. So take a minute to close your eyes and imagine your life a year from now. Just having implemented everything you've learned, your family is sending you deals, you're closing business, things are amazing, you're really seeing growth. So much so that you have to hire that assistant, and you're really focusing in on the most important activities to continue to grow your revenue and your profitability. How does that feel? Everybody in the chat, what's your internal response to that imagery in your mind when you can think about that? How does that feel?
It's nerve-wracking, but it'll go away. Once you've kind of start setting your goals little by little, it'll get better.
Who said it's nerve-wracking, but it will go away? That's you, Leah.
Yeah.
Okay. Leah, close your eyes again. So this, I totally get you, but I think you're conflicted between the feeling of how you feel now.
Dizzy?
Yeah, so you try to close your eyes, disconnect yourself from all of that stress that you feel now, because you're at the starting point. I want you to actually climb the mountain in your mind, look down the mountain at all the progress you've made, and tell me how you feel about succeeding.
It's a relief.
Yeah, it is. Absolutely. Are you proud of yourself?
Yes.
Okay. Do you think you can do it?
Yes.
Absolutely. Yes, you can. Okay. Great. This is the mindset work. And Leah is absolutely right. She's like, it's nerve wracking, but I think, I think I can. It's kind of the difference between, looking up at what you have in front of you and then being able to get a vision for like, actually, this is what I'm going to do. Put yourself just for a moment, and you may need to do this every once in a while. Put yourself into the vision of having already accomplished it. How does that make you feel? Are you proud of yourself? Are your kids proud of you? Your mom and dad, are they proud of you? Your husband or wife, are they proud of you? Like, how does that feel? That's so important to get in touch with that emotion of success, because when we're in the grind every day, doing the hard work, and we don't feel necessarily successful now, hey, if you're in a growth mindset, you'll probably never feel 100% successful, and that's okay, as long as you can take small moments to imagine what it's going to be like when you get there, and allow yourself to feel the positive emotions and the energy that you will get from knowing you're going to achieve it and you're going to get there. Huge, huge for motivation. Okay. Okay, let's go on to page 21. This is the Big Why activity. You guys should have some lines and some things to fill out here. This is how we get there to our own personal big why. What is or was your driving motivation? The why or goal for a career in real estate? Like, what gave you the idea? How did you come up about that? Why was it that way? Tell me more. Really dig deep. These are the questions you can ask yourself as you're filling it out. What will achieving your goal mean for you? Answer that question as best you can. In what way will your life change? And really be real about this, because it's if you're successful in real estate, it's not just going to change your life, right? It's going to change the lives of the folks who are connected to you. Whether that be your immediate family or extended family, or whoever is going to benefit from your life changing and from your success, because we're all connected to others as well. And what doors will it open for you? I can tell you, I'll share a little bit about my big why. And then I'm going to give you guys about 5 to 10 minutes of quiet time to fill in these answers. I'm going to do this full transparency here. And I have to tell you, I'm a little emotionally raw today already, so I might cry. So just bear with me when I go into my big why, because I'm definitely connected to the emotion of this why. So I grew up in a pretty interesting environment. My parents were super dysfunctional, drugs and alcohol, lots of addiction, like almost no function at all. In fact, more than half of my childhood, I was raised in the woods, like did not have a home to live in style, tent, trailer, living off of what the woods could provide, mushrooms, fishing, food boxes, yada, yada. So, huge challenges, huge mindset work, I think, basically launching into adulthood, having not a penny to my name, nor the mindset around being able to grab a hold of being successful as an individual coming from such poverty. And I got married right out of high school as well, and started building a family right away. I knew exactly what I didn't want to do. That's what my parents gave me as a gift, knowing exactly what you do not want to do or what you do not want to achieve in life, at least the stuff to stay away from, right? And I knew some things that I definitely did want to do. I wanted my kids to know I loved them very much, that I would do anything to provide for them, that I wanted them to have a better start than what I got, all of those things. So for me, my entire adult life, since I started a family very, very young, was about breaking this generational mindset and thing around money and success. And all of the things that went along with that, right? So I started my career not in real estate. I just did lots of like hard labor jobs. I built cabinets, poured concrete, did tile work, like lots of trades stuff. And then I got into a more professional level career, started from the ground floor, working at FedEx office and print services, just doing customer service. And I thought, wow, this is awesome and amazing. I really like working with business people. And so I began to develop my professional skills there. They put me into a mentorship program. I grew, I learned. I had a lot of passion around going to college and getting an education. So I did that while I was with FedEx. They were super inspiring as an organization and really encouraged that kind of personal growth. Did that, got several promotions at FedEx into management, got my bachelor's degree while I worked for them. And then when I left FedEx, I went and got my master's degree in business. And that was right about the time when I started my master's degree program. It was right about the time the economy was kind of dipping a little bit. And by the time I was finished with my master's program, the economy was starting to be in recovery. So lots of folks who had lost their jobs during that time period were re-entering the market. Well, lo and behold, I did lots and lots of job interviews. And even though I had great results at FedEx and was in the top, 10% in the nation for all of the measurable results there, like I was trying to move careers and do something different, and it wasn't working super awesome. So I actually stumbled upon real estate accidentally. Accidentally on purpose. I basically asked myself the question after getting my MBA, what's the one thing I can do that basically has the lowest cost to enter with the highest return on investment and like the quickest way to make money without a lot of overhead? In any business you start, like in any entrepreneurial experience, like the answer to that question after doing a little bit of research was like, real estate is definitely the thing. Like it's only a few $1,000s to start. And all I have to do is get people who want to buy or sell houses and then do that. And I'm going to make, $5,000 to $10,000 every single time. Like, yeah, yes, sign me up. So I did that. That's how I started my career in real estate. My big why behind real estate was to make sure that I could develop a business and a life that would support making that generational change for my kids. Like, I didn't want to have to tell them, no, we don't have enough money for that. I did not. And I wanted to show them like that if you set a goal, you can achieve it. Whatever you want to do, you can do. You just change your mind and then you move in the direction of your dreams. Like, it's really not that hard. You just make up your mind and you do it. And so that's my big why, is to make sure that I can deliver a world to my kids by the time that they're adults that is absolutely like, no, the world's not against you. It's absolutely for you. You make up your mind on what you want to do and move forward. And I'm absolutely here to support that goal and that dream, like in any way I can. That's financially. I'm going to mentor you. I'm going to teach you about money. I'm going to give you all the things. Like, that's my job. So that's my big old why.
Thank you for sharing.
Yeah, definitely.
Great
And
story.
sorry, who was that?
Oh, Dave. I was just saying that's a great story. Thanks for
Thanks,
showing
Dave.
from childhood forward.
Yeah, I did it without crying. I started at the very beginning. But so when you're building your big why, I give that example because I wanted you to be able to see how emotionally connected you should be to it. Not everyone's going to have that same why, but you should have a good amount of passion around why you're doing this. So whether it's to change the world and to bring like something better into the world, and whether that's, having the time freedom, if you have enough success in real estate to create the time freedom to then give back to your most passionate nonprofit organization, or you want to give money and that's a certain amount, or whatever it is, but something that is deeply important to you and to your soul and to your purpose for existing on this planet, you should definitely try to connect to that, because on the super hard days when you don't want to do your job, you're going to get up and do it anyway, you know, because that thing is so important to you. Okay. So heavy revy. Now we're going to go into, you know, your guys's work. I'm going to give you 5-10 minutes probably to answer these questions. And if anyone else feels vulnerable enough to share your why at the end, or if you feel like you're getting close, or even if you want to have a conversation around getting a little deeper, I will be available for that. So
You'd be offering another 5-minute break anytime soon.
well, we're doing the activity now, so you're welcome to take a 5-minute break. Yeah. how are we doing?
I think I'm done.
Excellent. Okay, so tell me about that. Done with 21. Did you move on? I'm curious to page 22.
Yes.
Excellent. Can I get a show? Just go ahead and go into the chat. I'm going to open it up right now. And just say like, yes, if you're done, and the number 2, if you moved on to page 22, the second section of this exercise. Excellent. Most of you, for the most part, did move on to the following page. That's really good. If you didn't move on to the following page, that's okay. You can move on to the following page and move through this. What I would say around the big why, and this is what I found, like in class, I worked on it, I worked through it. I actually, had to take a little bit longer to get to mine. And I took a couple of coaching sessions with my new agent coach. When I came on, but as you could hear from my story, like I was a hot mess around all of my emotions around that. So it took me a minute. I had some really good one-on-one conversations with my coach, and we got there together after a couple of those conversations and some journaling and just picking out the most important pieces of, all of how I felt around what was driving me so intrinsically. So don't feel bad if you have to circle back around to this a couple of times before you feel like you get there. Because, you will know when you get there, because like every time you talk about your big why, you're going to feel it like in the pit of your stomach or in your gut, in your whatever that place that you feel the internal motivation, you'll feel it there. Whatever location in your body that is for you. Like mine's directly in my stomach, in my midsection of my body, but that's where I get that, so, all right. Page 23, 24, 25, 26. We're going to do that as homework. The reason we're doing as homework is it's a little bit of a repeat of how you guys did on your day 1 monetary planning. And if you missed day 1, it's okay. Just know that those are the pages that will get you there to your monetary goal. And there's a bit of a worksheet process you can follow. So commitment to daily lead generation. I feel like, we have talked a lot about this. There's no real activity around this except for that what you need to know internally is for every day you don't lead generate, 90 days later, you will not have a closed transaction. You know what I mean? So you can keep that in mind. It's just another one of those like mindset thoughts to keep you from doing the easy thing. And, I don't know, reading a book or grabbing a burger or whatever instead of lead generating. Okay, so please turn to sorry, my slide deck is frozen again. There we go. Now we're going somewhere. Please turn to page 28. How long on average does it take to get a buyer or a seller to sign a contract for a sale or a listing? What do you think?
It could be that day, or it could be a few months from then. It depends on their timeline and what they're working with.
Yes, it does. It depends on their timeline. So based on that information, what do you think the actual timeline is? If you're not thinking of one buyer or one seller and how long it may take them, but if you think of it as like a group or subsection of possible buyers or sellers, how long do you think it takes you to get a contract signed? Out
It
of
should
this
be
big,
the,
like,
it should,
a
I would
bunch
think it would
of-
be the end of your buyer's presentation or your listing presentation. It should take the duration of that period of time with whoever it is to get the contract signed.
Yeah, coffees for closers, dude. No, I'm just saying, yeah, you're like, it should be right at the end of the appointment. It's maybe 30 to 45 minutes, and then everyone will sign with me. I love that mindset. So absolutely. And what Gary Keller says is, in the true time frame of how it works, if you're consistently lead generating, is it's anywhere from 1 to 60 days or more, and it is in direct correlation with how much time you put into lead generation every day and how many appointments you actually get to go on so that you can do that thing called closing and having them sign the contract at the end of the appointment. So yes, everyone who answered was correct. It's kind of a big picture idea in like, how many people do I actually need to talk to close for the appointment? How many appointments do I actually need to go on to ask them to sign the agreement that I actually get to go into business with someone, right? So that's kind of the idea around that. And how long does it take for a transaction to close and for you to get paid?
My understanding is that when it leaves escrow is when it closes. And again, my vague understanding is that escrow can take anywhere from 1 to 2 months, but this is just based on what I've learned from my superior school education.
Yep, you're absolutely right. Anywhere from 1 to 2 months. I would say in general, your most common closing timelines are 30 to 45 days. And of course, in those unique situations where there's repairs or something funky with the financing, or on the off chance you're closing a USDA loan, probably sneak in closer to 60 days. So how quickly do you want to get paid? Everyone put your answer in the chat box, please. You're laughing at me or laughing with me here, but either way, stick your answer in that chat box. Maybe if I can find the end of this chat. Boop, there we go. Immediately, ASAP, today, as soon as possible. 14 days. Ditto. Yeah, show me the money. Okay, excellent. Just wanted to check. And the next question and the next piece to that is, of course, we all want to get paid right away. Now let's be brutally honest with ourselves. How long can you go without a paycheck? So do a little more thinking based on what you have in savings, based on your current income, whatever. How long can you actually go without feeling pain from not getting paid? Put your answer in the chat box. Just say 30 days, 60 days, 90 days. I'm good for 6 months. I'm actually already in pain now. Thanks for asking, whatever the case may be. So excellent. Oh, 5 years, 3 months, 3 months, 6 months, 3 months, 2 to 3 months, indefinitely.
Definitely. What?
Still working, have hubby's income. Excellent.
Yeah, I have VA disability and I live very inexpensively. I kind of did that on purpose because I wanted to make sure that I was stable before I started, this endeavor. So yeah.
Way to go. Good job. Well, what I love to see is that most of you actually did plan ahead and you have 2 to 3 months of reserves. That's really, really good. So that'll give you the time to really buckle down, do the lead generating you need to do to really get the results. And so if you're in production with your first couple of deals in the next 30 to 45 days, then you're going to be in good shape. You'll be squared away and, beginning to see that momentum and get some consistent business. So that is very good. All right. I want you to just observe this lead generation funnel on page 29. Take a picture of this with your cell phone. Like, this is definitely something you want to keep in mind all the time. Excuse me while I itch my back. essentially you can see the big dollar sign at the bottom of it. Big dollar sign, that's your paycheck, okay? And so what happens if you only put like, 5 or 10 leads into your pipeline? How many of those dollar signs come out the bottom, you think?
You may not see any.
You may not see any dollar signs at the bottom, right? You can see like all of the little speckleds, those are all leads. Those are not even contacts. So here's the other thing I want you to do, just so you can get your mindset right around this, okay, guys? At the top of this funnel, draw another circle, one more layer to this funnel, and it's gonna make it taller. And I want you to write the word contacts. So I'm not a wonderful artist, but this is the example of how mine looked. I added it. I said contacts. This is why we drive home that conversation around the daily 10-4, the daily 410. Making sure that you are on the front lines, doing your contacts, entering the database entries, doing the follow-up, handwritten notes and all of that stuff. Because those contacts are what wiggle down into the leads. And, for you right now, it's okay. Your leads are few and far between. You've got a handful of them. It's exciting, nurture them. But I want you to hang on to the idea of as many contacts as possible, because you're only going to shake out a few leads out of your contacts, right? And then, but the leads is on the top of your funnel. So once you have the leads, your follow-up is going to shake out the appointments, which is then a little smaller on your funnel. And your appointments is going to shake out your agreement signed, people who are willing to commit to working with you. So as the funnel goes down, like those numbers get smaller and smaller, but it gets you closer and closer to that paycheck. So once your agreements are signed, this is where most of the real estate work happens. The real estate work is in this tiny little piece at the end where it says contracts. So I want you to keep that in perspective when you're thinking about what your daily activities should be. Like the real estate work is actually a pretty small section, right? What's the biggest section?
It's talking to people and meeting people.
Yeah. Yeah. So here's like mine. Here's real estate work, tiny little thing right here. Lead generation, huge thing right up here. So just keep that in perspective, like lead generation, real estate work. So that's your 80-20. Your 20 is lead generation, but it's going to create 80 to 100% of your results in the form of real estate work and paychecks. This piece, okay? I love this image. I love this imagery. Like do that, scribble on it, like snap a picture on your cell phone, keep that at the top of your mind. It's a great way to stay in perspective there. Okay, now we are going to move on to sales language. This video we're about to watch is called How to Use Scripts. And scripts are just one way of moving from entrepreneurial to purposeful. I gotta get out of my main screen here. Bear with me. That's not it. How do I move my toolbar to a different location or something? There we go. Boom. Can you guys see this and hear this?
Yes.
Hi, I'm Jeff Glover, and I'm going to tell you the top 5 things that you need to know about using scripts. Step 1, you're going to need to get your scripts from a top agent at the office, your team leader, a MAPS coach, or of course, Keller Williams University. Step 2, we're going to need to do a total transformation of, instead of talking and telling, of asking questions. Selling isn't telling, selling is asking a series of questions that leads to desired response. So instead of talking so much, we need to get in the habit of asking questions. And asking questions gives us control of the conversation. Control of the conversation gives us our ultimate outcome, which is an appointment set or closing. Step 3, we need to listen with good intentions. Well, what I mean by that is we need to listen to their answers instead of just listening to them talk and asking another question that comes to mind. For example, instead of asking a seller where they're moving to and then going on to the next question, how soon would you like to be there? Ask them, where are you moving to? And when they give you a response, ask them, what takes you there? Step 4 in becoming better at scripts is we need to learn to mimic, mirror, and match the prospect. What I mean by that is we have to listen to their tone of voice. We have to speed up or slow down based on how fast the prospect is talking. That means when they respond and say, we're moving to Toledo. Oh, Toledo, that's exciting. What takes you there? 93% of communication is body language and tonality. And that means only 7% are the words that we say or the questions that we ask. Step 5, we need to take these 5 points and practice them daily. If you think of NFL teams, they practice 50, 60 hours on the practice field for a 1-hour game. Our game is our presentations and our appointments, and we need to practice daily everything that we've learned every single day before we meet with our clients. When it comes to scripts, my biggest aha is that everybody has their own scripts. We're pre-programmed to have scripts, and we're talking and asking questions that are scripted. However, what we found is that most of our own scripts are no good. And so we have to learn the right scripts, the right questions to maintain control of the conversation. Thanks for watching KW Connect. Make it a great day.
Excellent. All right. Takeaways from the video. What do you think?
I felt it should have been longer.
Oh, you're like, tell me more.
Well, no, it was just more of a thing of like, I felt like that there was something that was supposed to come next and there wasn't. So maybe it was just the hype.
You gotta join the scripts group.
I thought it was good. I thought him bringing up body language and tonality being something to be aware of is really important. I am aware of how bad I am at that at times.
Absolutely. Yeah, I appreciate this video very much in that it does give, Leah, you were left wanting more because this is a real broad strokes video, but it does give the most important things. So, oh, it literally has 3 things listed on the—
Just the 3, yeah.
It's the most important things, right? Like, oh, listen with good intentions. I don't think that's on the list. Yes, you do need to listen with good intentions, but I would have picked out a different top 3. Obviously, mine would be replace your own internal scripts with scripts that actually work from top producing agents. Yes. Do not talk at people, ask questions because it maintains control of the conversation and you can direct where that conversation is headed because folks naturally, when you ask a question, they naturally feel obligated to answer. So if you're in a conversation and you're asking questions, like you're taking it to where you want it to go, that's good. And then number 3 is the being engaged, listening, and the real sales behavior that the best salespeople are very good at is building rapport is more than just having something in common with a client. It's about making them feel comfortable, allowing them to feel like they can be transparent with you, that they can trust you. And a lot of that is in mirroring and matching behavior. So if they're reserved in their communication style, you return with a reserved form of communication as well. If they talk more quietly, you talk a little more quietly. If they talk quickly, you talk quickly. It's going to naturally make them feel really comfortable communicating with you. And we just want to meet people where they're at. That's our job, you know. And to me, using that skill of what I call it is just like being very in tune with folks. What's the word? I'm like, I call it something and I can't think of the word. Second time this has happened during class. If you guys are keeping track, put another check mark down. Empathy or being empathic with people, this has a lot to do with that. Like being able to meet people where they're at. Mirroring and matching is part of empathy in the human condition of how we interact with people as a human race. I don't know if you guys have ever done people watching or observed people. I geek out on this topic, by the way, just so you know, but like you can actually watch a group of people who are interacting and talking with each other, and you can tell a lot about that conversation without ever audibly hearing what they're talking about because of the body language. And a lot of times in conversations when you're someone's talking and the other person's listening, if that person, you know, closes their body language off, they're like, you know, less comfortable. When they start to open up, you can know, like when they uncross their arms, they're a little more comfortable. Even in the direction they're pointing their toes, you can tell how engaged they are with the other person. If they are nodding their head in agreement, you know, they're tracking right along and they're feeling comfortable. You know, that's all, like all of that body language is all a sign of how well am I doing in this interaction. So, like I said, I geek out on it. I love people watching. But those are the three top things: is mirror and matching, so excellent. Will get you very far in your conversations because you do need to be able to help people feel comfortable. And that's the moment when they'll open up to you about the home buying process, what they really want, what their goals are, why they're doing what they're doing. And it becomes more than transactional at that point. You know, at that point, I think you've established a true fiduciary relationship because they're sharing their life goals with you instead of just, I want to buy this house for $450,000, right?
Yep.
Awesome. Okay. So for those of you tracking along in the books, I want you to know we are now on page 39, 38 and 39, talking about the benefit of scripts. There is a script class. Have you guys all connected with that network calendar so you can see when that script class is in the morning? Yes. If you guys are available, I know some of you are dual career, but if you are available, I would highly suggest going to that. Even if you don't go to every single one, like pop in, at least go to one a week and you know, build that into your kind of routine. There's also script resources in the Ignite curriculum. There's a link at the very bottom for scripts. If you do not have time or the schedule to go to script practice, you can, if you're like me, what I did was I took that script book and I took my phone and I recorded myself saying the scripts, and then I just plugged it in on my commute to work and listened to the scripts and would say them out loud as I drove. So there's all kinds of ways you can practice and get involved in internalizing scripts. Whether you go show up at the script practice or whether you just do some self-accountability and record them and listen to them and practice, totally up to you. Any questions around scripts? Okay, excellent. Dog ear in your books, page 40. As you're doing the homework and script practice, this is a really good process for actually memorizing and internalizing the scripts. You want to reference back to that. It'll be helpful for you. And then there are some just scripts that you can use to get you started. I want to point those out in your binder too. They start on page 43. I'm stepping out of my camera, but just to see how many pages they've given you of script. Just 2 scripts, some, you know, starter scripts essentially. If your situation is that you're new to real estate, there's one for that. If you're new just from another brokerage, there's one for that. And then the tail end of both of those scripts is matching. It says rest of script. That's what that is. On the following page 44, there's a little section for reminding people you're in real estate. I know some of you mentioned that that's more, you know, where you're at, or new to the area, and there's a few of you, and so there's a script for that as well. And then there's a rest of script section on the right-hand column as well for that. So that'll get you guys a good start. The script book that I pointed out a few minutes ago that's available on the Ignite resources, it's huge. It's like hundreds of pages of scripts for any situation or scenario you could ever imagine, including the buyer consultation, a listing appointment, you know, getting someone off the fence, getting someone to get a pre-approval, why they might use you, all kinds of things in there. Really interesting stuff to like thumb through and then, you know, highlight or dog ear the pages of the scripts you think you might use most often, and just pick those ones as the ones that you memorize first. You know? Okay. On page 45, there's an example of a way that you can record your calls. Like, this is a little bit old school, truthfully. I don't know if I would do it on paper, although if you're a paper person, more power to you. I will tell you that there is a really cool function in Command. I don't know if this is for Android users, so you may want to experiment with this because I have an iPhone. But Command does have a mobile web application, meaning it's a version that loads on your phone or your tablet that will allow you to actually call directly from Command once you database enter. And it's smart enough to know that you're doing your lead generation calls. And so as soon as you hang up the phone, it actually gives a pop-up window and asks you, how did the call go? And allows you to record notes right there from your phone. So I would suggest as your lead generation will start just out of contacts on your phone or through Facebook or whatever. But as you get enough information to get them loaded into Command, do your phone calls using Command on your phone, because essentially you just click that phone number, it auto dials for you. You know, it's going to come straight from your cell phone number, so they know it's you. And then you get done with the call and hang up, and you can say what it was you talked about, even if it was not real estate related. The benefit to that is that the next time you call 90 days from now, you go in and see that activity, and you will actually remember details from what you talked about that you wouldn't normally remember when you circle back around to make that second call. So it will give them the impression that like they're actually very important in your life, important enough that you're remembering real details about what you talked about. If their kid was sick that day, if their dog just went to the vet, like they have some exciting thing coming up, you know, whatever, all of those things. Good. That's what CRMs are good for, is actually saving real information that would help you to show up better and easier for your sphere of influence, your clients, and your past clients. How are we doing on time? 6 minutes to the hour, you guys. We are really struggle busing on time today. The great thing is we got through the big why exercise, which was the #1 goal of the class. So excellent. Let me just take a quick look through here and make sure that I can help you prioritize this information, since I actually wasn't able to get through all the content. Action plan, make a list, prune, prioritize, the one thing. Okay, a lot of this is around time management, which we've actually had conversations around. I would say if you're one of the folks who is feeling the crunch and feeling the time management struggle, this section starting on page 48 would definitely be worth a second look. And also reach out to your coaches and engage us. Living by a calendar. Hey, we've actually covered this by just natural conversation. Surprisingly enough, living by a calendar, doing your time blocking, making sure that your daily 10-4 is time blocked in that calendar, holding yourself accountable, engaging your coach or mentor. Okay, on page 61. There is a little like agreement of expectations form in here. This is not a contract. You guys have already all signed your coaching contracts. You kind of know what is expected of you. But this is super helpful to just keep on a wall, to remind yourself, like, okay, refocus, like, and just know this is kind of what I'm focusing on, because it's a one pager. So that's helpful. The one that I actually really love is for the folks of you who have family at home who are going to be directly impacted by you growing a new business, and the amount of time and commitment that it takes to do that at the beginning is a change and will be an adjustment for you. This on page 63 is a very helpful tool to just help them understand all of the things that you're doing and the timeline and the commitment that you're asking from them, and also, you know, reciprocating what you promise to do in return. So, anybody in the room feel like that? Like, feel like this start to your career may be in conflict with some of your family unit, or you may need to circle back around and have these kind of conversations, like folks with spouses or kids or anything like that?
Not necessarily. It's something that you just have to make it work.
Yeah. Mine's just work. Family wise, I actually haven't spoken to my family for 9 years, so it's just me doing it all on my own.
Oh,
it's all good. I just can't wait to prove them that I have my own business and everything. I come from a Middle Eastern culture, so I cannot wait to show my family that their one daughter actually did everything. So.
Like how awesome you are. Yes.
So, that's my big why.
Good for you.
Yeah. Fabulous. Absolutely.
Good for you. I'm proud.
So do you live by yourself too?
Yes, with my 2 dogs.
Well, you might have to have some conversations with your puppies.
Oh, yes.
This form on page 63 will help you with that.
Thank you.
But here's one thing for those of you who do have families at home, where it's like some of your activities, or, you know, and sometimes you get side railed by that. I totally do. I have 3 kids, you know, it's just a thing. I sometimes get side railed by that. And so what I've done is obviously clearly communicated the times when I'm available and when I'm not. We have signals, you know, little hand signals we use. And my kids are awesome. They've done really well adjusting to the whole, like, I basically work all the time thing. And if I give you this hand signal, it means be quiet because I'm taking a business phone call. You know, but I build in opportunities to celebrate success with them because they're working along with me. If I'm asking them to be quiet during a business phone call for kids, that's hard work. So, and it's an expectation, right? So we have built all manner of family activities around success in little mini celebrations. Every time I close a deal, we go out for pizza. You know, and we plan family activities. Like on Fridays, I do family time, like family time. My kids don't have chores. Like I do take business phone calls here and there, but I don't plan showings on Fridays. I do not plan teaching on Fridays. I'm available for coaching if necessary, but we're doing family stuff on Fridays. That's our big day where we do that. And so that's the commitment that I've made to them in return for them making a commitment to me that they'll be really respectful of my time and hold me accountable to doing the right things for the business. So I love that. That's how we've rolled. If you don't have that dynamic at home where you have a spouse or kids that live there with you and you can't just kind of be always tunnel vision working, those conversations are really beneficial. And to get that buy-in from your family is really important. Okay. So at the end of every session, you'll have an action plan that looks like this. It'll normally have a little checklist with a due date for completion times. This one is essentially to polish up your big why, complete your daily 10 activities, start tracking your daily activities in the My Tracker or however else you've decided to track them. create your time blocked calendar, schedule regular accountability time with your market center leadership. This would be your coach, and we actually have that scheduled for you. Your daily accountability is at the beginning of class. So you can like check done, you know. A lot of this stuff is already built into this program for you, so it's pretty awesome. But if you find that you haven't gotten it done, just spend 20 minutes and knock it out. That it will help you feel like you're making some momentum towards, you know, in the right direction. Yeah, practice your power statements, questions, as well as your introductory scripts. Prepare for the next class by downloading the mission. I showed you what those missions look like and where they were at. Complete the mission before class or any undone homework, and discuss with your family your obligations that you've committed to over the next several months. I want you guys to know that after this launch quarter, you're obviously going to earn back what 12 to 15 hours a week of class time that will then be able to be poured directly into your business as well. So yeah, that's a thing. You will earn that back, but you will find if you are time blocking for your lead generation activities, you'll have enough business by the end of this quarter that you'll be thankful for gaining back that 15 hours a week, because you'll need it. So I just want to encourage you. You guys are going to get into production. You're all going to do super awesome, and stay really connected with your coaches in the meantime for any support you need. Okay. Let's see. The rest of this is just the correction or suggestions log they have back here. That essentially, you guys are going to get an email from Paris for feedback on the class. I'm so excited. We're only 3 minutes past the hour, and I'm actually to the end of the curriculum. So yay. I taught the last half of the book at the beginning of class, lo and behold, so we were able to skip through it pretty quickly. But if you guys notice any typos or anything, feel free to write the page number down and the change, because we'll submit that to the course writers and make sure to get the changes made. Those are for you very detail oriented folks. Okay. I want to give this opportunity for like the next 2-3 minutes. If I've left anything out, any questions left unanswered.
Who could I contact to get a physical copy of the Ignite notebook?
You would just call the Market Center. Normally it's your director of first impressions. Sorry.
Vanessa Weiss, I think is who it is.
Okay.
I'll reach out to her. Okay, thanks.
Reach out to her. They should have them at the front desk already, because Paris does a really good job of taking that inventory and making sure binders are ordered and they get to your DFI, and then you can just go into the Market Center and pick one up.
Okay, great.
Yep. Anybody else?
Nope, I'm good.
Everybody good? Okay, awesome. Hey, thanks for hanging out with me today. It was great. I really enjoyed spending time with you today. And sorry I took you 5 minutes over. I respect your time. Have a good afternoon.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Yeah, Jackie, I'll call you.
Okay, yeah, I was like, I need you.
Yep,
All right, cool. Sounds good, thanks.